Welcome to Elementary, Monday evenings at 6. I hope you had a fabulous Monday wherever you're listening from, and I'm really delighted to introduce my guest today. And I think it's going to be a fabulous show. Of course, I think it's going to be a fabulous show every week. But those interest rates, what's going on with the interest rates while I wait for my guest to appear? So, we're supposed to have another interest rate hike on June 8th. And according to what we heard, it appeared like the interest rates would have gone up. However, it looks like possibly no rate change until sometime before September, whenever that is. But we'll see. June 8th will come and we'll try to figure out, is this going to, cool down all the activity that we're seeing? Or will it go on? Will the show go on? I am still waiting for my guest to join. And I'm going to see if I can invite her. Yeah, so have you had a great Monday today? I was really busy. I was all over the place, but my guest has joined.
Hello.
Yay! Hi. Thank you so much. So we'll get started. I know we both have little time crunches today. It's been a crazy, crazy busy day. But thank you so much for coming on. So introduce yourself and your Instagram handle.
Of course. So hello, I'm Ariel, and I am the person behind Studio Flora Creations. My Instagram handle is Studio Flora Creations.
Perfect. So if you're not following Ariel, I would tell you to go follow her. I just started following her, and you have to go see her page. I'm not going to give it up, but you love it. So tell us, what is Studio Flora Creations?
Sure. So Studio Flora is my personal happy space. It is all the places and things where I post about what I'm making. I am usually going to markets and selling them at markets, but it's just the physical form of my mind where I like to think of and create funky home decor pieces.
Perfect. And so how did the inspiration behind this? Did it come about?
So it's actually over the pandemic, as I'm finding a lot of creators and small businesses are. I was working as a student, and during lockdown, I was really, bored at home. I wanted to get into painting and art, and I found that when I was trying to find supplies online, like from Michaels or Amazon, everything was completely sold out. So I was kind of left with whatever I had at home, and I started pressing flowers from my garden, and I used that to make different art pieces. And from there, it sort of grew into me trying to find inspiration online, of seeing what kinds of different art forms I can get into. I had all this time on my hands, so I just really wanted to let my creative juices flow, which is something I never really had the time to do before. So it was actually through TikTok that I found out about rug tufting. I saw a video of somebody with a gun, like a rug tufting gun, and they were threading yarn through it, and they were using it to make rugs. And I was so mesmerized, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I had to buy one of those tufting guns for myself immediately. And I learned everything that I could possibly learn about it at the time. There wasn't a lot of information online about it. So I started with punch needling, which is taking a needle and threading yarn through it, through a canvas, and manually creating small, like little rugs that way. And I waited, I think it was 6 months before my tufting gun actually came in the mail. And when it arrived, I just couldn't stop doing it. So here I am 3 years later, fully invested in this as a business, and I create things all the time. Every spare moment that I have, I'm making things. And then on weekends, I go to different markets around downtown Toronto and I sell my items.
Wow. Wow. Such an amazing story. I mean, I've seen your stuff and it's pretty it's just really nice.
Well, thank you
Um
so much.
and you know when I was told about it, I actually didn't picture, right? What I really don't know what I pictured. But then when I found your page and went on it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is like amazing. Um, so how do you approach your creative process?
Honestly, that's a little bit of a difficult question. Sometimes creativity strikes out of the blue and I just think of something and I go with it. But other times I find that because it's like a job and I would constantly always have to create new things, sometimes it gets really difficult and I get really unmotivated and it's hard for me to always think of something new. So obviously I go on Pinterest and I look online, but most of the time when I find myself in a creative rut, I just let myself have a break. And I never would have guessed how much having a break from things helps me regenerate new ideas, and get back into that creative flow.
Wow. So, uh, I know this is like really nice stuff, and I want you to tell me, perhaps, is there a project that you recently did that you're most proud of?
That's a hard question. I'm honestly proud of all my projects just because they're so labor intensive. Each of my little rugs takes anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks to make,
Wow.
of constant work. So every time I finish an entire
Wow.
frame, I'm just so happy and proud by the end of it. But I actually brought some things to show that
Yeah, that
I have
would be
been
nice.
proud of most recently. So I started making these little mushroom squiggly rugs as little decor items. And these have been my pride and joy every time I make one of them. Everyone always sees them and they're like, wow, I love them. And I started making different plant accessories. So I made this larger piece, and I usually like to put a plant on it. And then all my plants have
Wow.
one of these little guys, and it just adds a little bit of whimsical color, a little pop of
Yeah.
joy to your home. So anytime I make a larger piece or something that's more involved, like one of these little mushrooms, I'm really happy.
Thank you. Click on Joe Mushrooms. That's cute. Um, those are really cute. I saw a picture that you posted in the market. I was looking at your video and or a picture or something to that effect, and I saw that mushroom thing posted, and I was trying to figure out. I'm like, is that a mushroom? Like, what is that? That looks so cute. But it always looks cuter, up front, right? That's nice.
Definitely.
Yeah, I like those little pot things. Those are really cute. I
Well,
can see
thank you.
how, yeah, I'm gonna have to come out to a market that you're at very soon.
Please do.
Yeah. So, what all can you create? I want people to understand that you do like a lot of custom stuffs too. So, what all can you create for people?
Yeah, I make things that are super tiny, like the little mushrooms that you just saw, all the way to large pieces. I think the largest one I made was a 3 foot rug that someone ended up using for their living room. So honestly, it's whatever you can think of, I can create it. And custom pieces are kind of my pride and joy because I get to think of something new. And I love working with people. Sometimes people have amazing ideas that I never would have thought of. And we go back and forth on the design process and we keep making something until the person is super happy with it. And then when I actually get to create it and I get to see how happy they are on their faces when they come to pick it up, it just makes me so, so happy. So yeah, it's really anything that you can think of. And that's my favorite part of tufting is that you can make something super tiny and you can make something super huge. And it's really just wherever you let your imagination take you.
Yeah. it's pretty nice because someone was telling me that you're working on a project for them, and I was like so jazzed because I'm like, oh my God, post it when you get it because I want to, you know, because she was telling me it's going to be very custom to her, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. I want to get one too.
Yeah, I
Um,
love doing logos also for different vendors
yes,
and businesses. That's also my cream of the crop. Best part of doing things is that whenever I go to stores or other markets and I see vendors displaying their logos with something that I made, it just makes me so happy. So I love
yeah,
that.
yes, your stuff is very nice, I must say, very nice.
Thank
I was
you.
quite blown away with it. Very artistic. Thank you. And like, do you have any plans? Like, what are the future plans for Studio Flora Creations?
Honestly, right now I am doing it as something part-time. So I'm still a student. I'm actually working on my PhD in human-computer interaction at the University of Waterloo.
Very
So
nice.
while I'm doing that, my other part-time thing is Studio Flora. So eventually I would love for it to be full-time. I think those are my future plans. Once I graduate, being able to spend all my time doing this would be lovely. But for now, I'm just going to different markets around Toronto each weekend. One that I have coming up next weekend is Dundas West Fest, where
Yeah.
they close down all of Dundas from, I believe it's Ossington to Lansdowne. And there's different art and food and music, and it's supposed to be really fun. It's June 9th, 10th, and 11th. So that's something that I have in the short term that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, I wanted you to share that story because, you know, I mean, it's pretty amazing that you're doing a PhD and you're doing this stuff, and it takes a lot. It takes a
It
lot of work.
does.
And so, you know, I want you to be commended on that because that's amazing,
Thank
right?
you.
You're committed to two very large pieces in your life, right? So good for you. Good for you.
Thank you so much.
Um, so thanks for sharing some of the stuff. But I want to showcase your small business in the best light, and I want to make sure that I've captured everything. Um, is there something I may have missed?
Honestly, no. Markets, like I said, are my biggest venue where if you want to see everything that I have at one time, you can come to a market and take a look. Otherwise, I am selling some of my pieces at different stores in Toronto. The first one is Drew at Stacked Market on Bathurst and Front. They have all of my food related items, which I have with me too. So this little egg,
Yeah.
avocado, bacon, a toast. It keeps going. There's a bunch, and they have all of them. And then also at Easy Tiger Goods on Dundas Street, they have my eggs and toast as well. So selling through those stores has been so amazing, and I'm so grateful that I get to work with those people. And I also have a few spots open for custom pieces in June. I think I have 2 spots available at the end of June, and 4 spots in July. So I love working on customs too. And that's something that maybe we haven't mentioned, that the way to get a custom would be to message me directly on Instagram.
Perfect. So when can people find you? Like, how can they find you?
Through Instagram, definitely.
Instagram, definitely.
Yes.
All right. So if you're not following her, drop what you're doing. Go ahead and follow her. Yeah.
Thank you.
Buy some avocados, buy some eggs, buy some toast, and bacon. Don't forget the bacon. So for all of you watching, I want to thank you for spending time with us. My name is Jacqueline Watson. I'm a realtor with Sutton Group. Today we had a little bit of a time crunch, so we tried to wrap it up as soon as possible. But thank you so much for coming on. And Ariel, thank you for your time. I so appreciate you coming on the show and agreeing and sharing your fabulous story.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yes. Until next time.
See you then. Bye.
Bye.